Hey everybody, it's Maryanne, and I am bringing to you my version of a craft that was done by Ceri Griffiths, also known as Ceri the Crafter, Ceri, the Crafter. He is in, I want to say Wales, but I don't want to, I'll put a link to his stuff. And I will put a link to what I followed to get this organizer created. I love this because I have certain things. I do a lot of different things. And if you've watched my channel, you can see I go from one thing to another. I very much have this thing where sometimes I'm done with something and I need to do something else because I'm blank. And so this is a great way, I think, because I have little slots, everything's different, where I could take something out and replace it with the things that I'm working on. And that way, if I go to the chair, if I'm cutting something up, and I have a lot of things available to me. I didn't do everything exactly the same because I didn't have everything that was the same. So I did it the way that worked for me. I also made some style choices that were based on what I had available to me and what I like. So there it is. Watch Ceri's video. He's really a fabulous guy. Love him. I just am so intrigued by everything he does. Even though there are things that maybe I've done before, I just enjoy the video, and I'll watch it and I'll get inspired, and that's what I hope to give for you, is to inspire you, to get you to go and watch somebody that I am enamored with. That's me. What can I tell you? I have a lot of creators that I really, really enjoy. He is one of them. I hope you will go and watch his video. I hope you will enjoy this video, and I hope you'll watch it. And I'll see you later. So here is Ceri's YouTube name. Here's the first of the videos, and then here's a link to the second. I'll also have them in the show more area down below. So I have a shoebox, which oddly enough I had saved because it's kind of narrow, fits nicely. And I'm trying out the idea that Ceri gives you about finding that spot in the top of the container that you can cut away. And as he says, go ahead and fast forward where you need to. I happen to be of the mindset, if you want to see it, you can see it. If not, you just fast forward. I think that's great. So some of the things that I did in this video is I made these hinges a little differently. I used heavy cardstock to attach to the hinges because I felt I needed something more sturdy because I'm pretty rough on stuff. I'm not exactly good at being easygoing with things. I'm very clumsy. Okay, there it is. I am clumsy. So I felt a wider and thicker amount of hinges would work better, and I think it's for me, right? So we do what we have to. I couldn't find all my binder clips. I have like a ton of binder clips. I don't know where they went to. I digress. Anyway, so moving along, like I said, you can move ahead. And sometimes probably are looking for something, so the video may not have interest. Please fast forward, do your thing. I am going to go through and try to eliminate those points, giving you the best view I can. Ceri mentions this about not being able to get the whole box underneath the video apparatus. He uses an iPad, I use a camera, and even with my stand and trying to get it up higher, it's not working well. All right, and the other thing that I did differently is I'm using a clear Elmer's glue instead of Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac to me is, I use that on the sides of the little lip that we made, but to do it to the entire box, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and that's only because Fabri-Tac to me is like sacred. I use it for a lot of things where I need some strength, and I find that something like this, I find my Elmer's clear glue works fine, and I have 2 big bottles of this, so I don't mind using it in my paper crafting. I've not found any issues with it. Anyway, so yeah, I see that there's a little bow in my cardstock that's supposed to be the divider, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, I can try to fix it before I put it in there, but it doesn't faze me. And I'm peeling off the Fabri-Tac that's squished through, which is kind of nice about Fabri-Tac. You can kind of pull it away. You just have to be careful you don't pull it out from where it's stuck in between. Anyway, so for me, I liked having that 2 containers, 2 separate places where you could, see, I'm trying to fix that bow in it. Some things drive me crazy, and some things I say enough is enough because I have broken things trying to fix. And so there it is. Now this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a second shelf or divider, and then I have some leftovers where I use that to make the smaller sections in the front, and you'll see that. Right now I'm just, there's times when you look at something and it's like, oh, it's okay, and then you see the edge is up, and that's what happened. I saw that the edge was up. It wasn't catching. It wasn't like the glue didn't dry. It was just didn't have enough glue on it. My technique is to go about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and then when I put it in, spread it, and usually the glue will spread out from where I place it to the outer edges, and then it doesn't leave a lot of goop. Well, it didn't work so much for me on this one, and I'm not too sure why. when I make cards and stuff, it usually works. But hence the reason why I did that. I'm going to remind you that the really detailed explanation, and he does a lovely job, is in Ceri's video, which I will put down at in the show more section. I do appreciate you taking the time and watching my video, but I also want to give credit to the person I was inspired by, which I hope someone would do if I inspire them. I know Ceri does a great job. He's always giving you the names or the contact information or telling you exactly where he was inspired by. And he does things all on his, he picks out, chooses, figures out what he's going to do in his own style. And he does a really good job of that. Now, you can see how I put the hinges on. And now I'm just putting glue all over. And the hard part is getting that into the box without creating a hubbubaloo. And let me tell you, I end up making a hubbubaloo. And here's the reason. Because it is me. I have ish. So gathering the piece that I'm going to put in front of that and using that to determine how far away that hinge is going to be. And that hinge, not the hinge, the little divider piece that I just put away, I have an issue putting that in, and it wasn't until I realized that the top of the box is complete, but where I stick it has, it's only one cardboard thickness. And I think I show you that, I'm not sure, but that's just to know that it's a little troublesome getting it in, but the cardboard thickness, once it gets past that top piece, it ends up sliding in perfectly. It is what it is. It is what it is. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Where am I? Where did I go? Something must have happened. I will return. Okay, so here's the issue that happened. I have a elderly dog. I have several elderly dogs, but one of them is suffering from dementia. And sometimes we have to do things, and I forgot to shut off the camera. So I took that part out where I had to walk away. And if it happens again and I don't catch it in this, please be forgiving. I just hang in there. I'm sure I'll come back. I'm going to try to catch them, obviously, because that is annoying when the creator goes away and doesn't shut off the camera or edit it. But it's just that we've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Here, there he goes. Even when I'm doing a voiceover. So I appreciate your kindness and your understanding if that happens again. So a part of what I haven't done in this video that I've done in other videos is I haven't put in any background music. And I feel like I try, and I don't feel it's necessary for me to purchase music video on something that may or may not be of interest to other people. I don't have a big production crew. I'm not very well known, so it is what it is. You get what you get. I hope you can appreciate the fact that it's silence and it's just crafting. I know sometimes I like to listen to one of my favorite crafters while they're doing something, especially if it's something I've watched before. I I don't mind hearing their voice and they're talking it through. I don't have a cohort except for my dogs and my cat, maybe my husband, but I try not to video when he's around. Um, so, this is an experiment. I'm not doing a lot of voiceover in this because, like I said, I think the original is much more easier to follow. This is just my differences that I'm giving you. And I pretty much show you how I do the box. The next part will be the decorating, and in that one, I won't be doing a whole lot of voiceover for that one. So enjoy it. And maybe it's probably better that you don't hear my voice the whole time. Who knows? We shall see. You can see on this particular one, I used a much wider, or I think it's because it's a smaller piece of cardboard. The size of the hinges are full length. And actually, I think that worked out best in this particular case because of how it stands. I think it worked out really well. So soon you're going to see how I try to get it in and it sort of gets stuck. But that's because it's on the double thickness, and then it slides into where the box connects on the side, and it fits in that slot rather well. It was kind of weird at first because I didn't know what was going on because I thought I measured it properly, and this is the reason why. So enjoy. Okay, so I let this dry. I live in the desert, so drying times are shortened. I also did the whole putting the book pages on without videoing because that's like watching paint dry. So Ceri does explain, he does a thing where he shows you how to put the book pages on. He cuts away all of the blank areas that doesn't have text on it. I think that's a really good hint. Um, I I did that for the most part. There are areas where there was a large paragraph or something, and so there may have been some spots that got missed. But it works in the long run. I also did a few coats of Mod Podge because I wanted it to be a little bit more waterproof. And so this is how I'm thinking. I'm just kind of checking it out. I keep my Fabri-Tac like that because it just takes forever for everything to come down. Oh, he's starting to cry. I don't know if you can hear him. My poor little boy. All right, so now we're going to do the paint. And I pretty much pulled out a lot of the colors that Ceri had, or similar colors. They're not exactly the same. Until we get to some of the highlighting parts with the, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. It comes up. You'll see it. All right, I'll leave you to it. Have fun. So I end up, I should have wet my sponge a little bit more than I had when I first started. Um, and I thought I would just add a little water to my sponge, but the problem was it just seemed to be too much. I think I should have left a little water in my sponge when I first started out, and I didn't do that. It all works out. But I want you to notice the color change from the outside to the inside. I really like the antique look that, or the aged look that this color gives the paper. It really does enhance it. I like it so much better. I like the fact I would never have tried this had I not watched the video. So I'm really glad I did because it came out so much nicer than I expected. Now see, I just dabbed the sponge in the water just a little bit and it made a mess. But you live with it, you go with it. You could either do where you blot it up and get it out of there, or what I did is I just kept spreading it all over the place and waited. We have such a dry climate here that it would take little to no time for it to evaporate, trust me. As I sometimes I have to, I use a lot of paint because it gets so dry sometimes. If I just put a little bit out and it gives it character. Yeah, there are some places where there was some blotchiness. Don't know what that was. I'm not worried about it because it just gives it character in my opinion. I'm going to go from here. I'm going to do the inside on my own because that was tremendous. That was a lot of work to do the inside. So here I took, right now I'm just taking, I forgot what this was. What is this? I'm just kind of like, I don't know, it could be gesso. I'm just going over it to seal it. Because, yeah, I think that's what, either that or it's Mod Podge. I can't remember. I can't see what that thing is. But it looks like I'm getting ready to put some stamping on it. So there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna let that, I had used all of the paints to get what I wanted. I wonder if yeah, I think it was Mod Podge. And just drying it up. I'm gonna fast forward this for you. Okay, we're going to fast forward this next part just to get you through this. I know it can be very boring to watch somebody stamp all over the place, but there it is. Let's go. So when you're stamping, if the stamp doesn't come out exactly right, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. This all works out in the end. And we're just going to heat gun it just to get everything to really dry. Now, stenciling, I have some of my favorite stencils, and I'm using some texture paste, and this is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to put this on. I make a decision when I do this. I was going to add 2 different ones on the bottom, but then I decided I would make it so like the bottom have one kind of stencil and the rim had a second one. You'll see it when it comes up. I end up taking part of it away that I do because I just didn't like the way it was looking. And that happens. So if you're doing something and you're not liking the way it looks, just deal with it. Get rid of it, put something else there. So let's see it. Okay, so right here, I noticed that I didn't quite get everything into the frame. I'm sorry about that, but you get the idea. Really, this texture paste is really tough to maneuver. I probably should have a metal spatula to work with, but I don't want to leave too much on the plastic, the stencil itself. So but I still want to fill in the area of the stencil to get it to really have that 3D effect. And I apologize again for it being so far down on the screen. If you take a look above, right below the part that I had completed on the other corner, there's this white streak. I couldn't get the paint to absorb in that. I don't know what was wrong with it. That's just what happened. I live with it. And I think I managed to work around it with the alcohol inks. So, and again, I was taking away anything that didn't look right. I didn't like the way it looked. So there it is. And let's continue. Okay, so coming up, now I like this stencil, except I put it here. I don't know what I was thinking. I was trying it out. I don't like the way it turned out, so I do take it off eventually. But even though I like the stencil, I like texture paste, I didn't like how it looked with this other stencil. And so maybe not right away, but eventually I do take it off. See, it just doesn't look right. If maybe, I don't know. It looks better on the rim, and you'll see that coming up. So let's watch. So I put I don't know, it looks like drops of some sort on the rim of the box, and that looks good. I like the way that looks. But I'm not happy with the one that's down in between the squiggly lines. So we're going to remove that, or we're going to replace it with the squiggly lines. See? Took it off, and we're just going to, it's not going to hurt anything because it'll all just be texture. And then we're just going to fill in with some of this right here. And you know, you don't have to fill in every nook and cranny in this part. I was able to live with that, and it will be fine. See, looks good. Just get rid of the excess. So everything looks good. I like the way this turned out. I don't mind the two different ones. Now we just heat gun it just to give it a little firmness. Don't worry too much about it because, like I said, everything dries really quickly here. And I fast forward this because, well, you don't need to watch spackle dry. So I have some old alcohol inks, and my favorite colors are purple and blue. Tend to gravitate towards those colors. And I think, you know, I tried to get the spritzer sprayer to go, and sometimes it works for me, and sometimes I have to play games with it. Plus, I also had a spray bottle of water nearby, and again, I'm out of shot. I'm really sorry about that. It should come back. I should be able to fill in with that. Just checking out what ones I have. And sometimes I have to play with the bottles because you're supposed to turn them upside down, spray them, or clean them out. And sometimes I don't do that. So a little spray bottle of water, a couple of different kinds of alcohol inks, and we should be good. I think I used a paper towel to blot it because I didn't want it to run all over the place. But here it is. So if you notice here, we really do have this paper towel turned out to be really pretty. So maybe I can show that to you at some point. It's just, even though the colors were mixed up and
all mishmash. I loved the way it turned out. I like the paper towel too, so I saved that. We're going to probably do something with that. So this particular spray bottle, it was just giving me an awful time, so I had to use drips of it to work it in. Eventually, I was able to get it to spray, but it was like a long time. As you could see, I was getting frustrated trying to wait for it to work, but it did eventually. Just being careful about not overdoing the drips. So working on the ends, trying to get you to see what's going on is really difficult because putting it on its end, you can tell it comes up really close to the camera, and there's no guarantee on the clarity. So I tried to do the best I could so you could see an overhead view of what's going on. And look at that. I just love the way that paper towel came out. It's even better when it's dried. I'm not worried about the inside having any color or texture because it really doesn't matter. And here I think you can overdo the spray, but I can't help it. See, when I do that on this, it's just too close. Almost there. We're almost there. So all those colors dry a little lighter than what you see there. And now I'm just fussing with getting my stuff put away. Okay, so we're going to show you this, everything pretty much dried. A good 24 hours is best, but you know, like I said, it dries pretty fast around here. So I'm just going to gather some things up and put them in and show you how it turns out. Now, just picking things off of the table just to get them out of the way and show you, you know, stacking. I'm putting my book in there, but the fact is I wouldn't keep the book in there. I have a side where I put all my journals that I work on. And I'm going to rearrange that. Just throwing everything in that's sitting on the desk. I think it's really going to help me find things, because usually when I'm working, I can't, I'm very messy and I can't find what I'm looking for. I know I have it there. I know I just had it there. But it's a really crowded space. You'll see when I do a different shot of everything. You'll see what I'm talking about. So this is my water bucket, and like I said, that doesn't really go there, but I'm testing things out. All right, so I think I'm going to give up on that. All right, there it is. It's going to go where it belongs. Okay, my binder clips. I can't find all my binder clips, but these are the ones that I was able to locate. God knows where things go. That's why I need a couple of these things to keep everything organized. And there it is. I thought you might like to see how I'm going to be using this. This is going to go right in the back there, right in front of the window. That way I can pull it up, pull it out, and use whatever it is I'm going to be using for that day. I really like the way this turned out. It was so much fun. A lot of work, a little messy, but I enjoyed it, and I am so grateful. I hope you will go and check out Ceri the Crafter and his videos. You'll see them in the post below. Thanks so much for watching. See you again.